Welcome everyone. We are going to start today on our backs. So as you lie in your back, you can find the most comfortable position for your back. That might be having your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, or you might like to have the soles of your feet together and your knees out to the side, or just have your legs extended out straight. It's nice to have the arms a bit away from the body to support the opening of the chest. And if your legs are straight, you might want to separate your legs out several inches to help relax the back and the legs. And we'll begin with a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, releasing all the air and sinking the weight of the body into the ground. And again, see if you can feel your bones becoming heavy as you exhale and release. And one more breath like this. Letting the muscles melt off the bones. Feeling a sense of ease as you let the body sink into the ground. And I invite you to close your eyes. That'll just help you connect a little more clearly with what's happening inside of you, which is where we're concerned in yoga. And we'll start with perhaps the simplest place to connect with, and that's the breath. So just notice where your breath is in your body. Feel it coming in and going out. Perhaps there's a rise and a fall that you can be aware of. And then bring your attention specifically to the breath in the belly. And if you're having any trouble feeling the breath in the belly, just place one or both hands on your belly, and that'll help guide your breath so that it knows where to be. And breathe slowly and deeply into the belly. For now, don't worry about any other places in the body. Just focusing on the breath in the belly. Softening the belly and letting it expand as you inhale. And release back down toward the floor as you exhale. Explore the fullest expression of your breath possible here. So you're letting the breath come in deeply enough that it expands the walls of your belly outward. Almost like you're stretching your belly from the inside out. It's like blowing up a balloon stretches the balloon. Good. Now if you're using your hands, release your hands. See if you can still feel the breath in the belly. And then we're going to switch and breathe into the ribs. Feeling the ribs not just rising and falling, but spreading apart. Moving away from each other as you inhale. Collapsing back in toward each other and down as you exhale. And here again, if you feel like it would be helpful, place your hands on the ribs. I like to let my fingertips touch. Maybe just your middle fingers can touch. Depends on the length of your fingers, of course. But if your fingers touch in the rest position, then if you breathe deeply into your ribs, then you should be able to breathe deeply enough to expand the ribs till the fingers no longer touch. And then feel them coming back together again on the exhale. And then release the hands. See if you can continue to focus your breathing into your ribs. And then bring your attention into your heart center, your chest area. And draw the breath all the way up to the top of the lungs until you feel your chest rising with the inhale. Releasing with the exhale. So this is the smallest part of our lungs. It could be the part that's hardest to breathe into. Some people, particularly if you have anxiety, breathe into the chest usually, and the belly is hard to connect with. So just see what's true for you. There's no right or wrong. We're just working on it. That's why we call it practice. Again, maybe placing the hands on the chest helps to connect with breathing into this part. You really want to take your time and put in some effort to breathe slowly and elongate the breath so that it's not just a quick, short, shallow breath here. And then release the hands and see if you're able to continue to feel the breath up in your heart. And now we're ready to put it all together for what is called complete yogic breath or three-part breath. Starting with the belly, soften the belly, inhale, letting the belly expand. Keep inhaling, letting the ribs expand. Keep inhaling, letting the chest rise. And then exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest. And then see if one or more of these three areas is hard to breathe into. You can place one or both hands there. It's amazing how much the hands help. Just tell the breath where to go. Slow, deep breath. This breath is the key to our entire yoga practice. It will change as we change the various positions that we put our body in. But we want to try to maintain the intention to breathe like this throughout the entire class. Okay. Now, without changing anything in the breath, release the hands if you were using them. Straighten the legs if you had them bent. And then we'll bring the left knee into the chest, clasping around the knee with the hands. And flex the right foot, pressing the right heel away from you. Feel the belly rise as you start your 3-part breath, carrying it up into the chest. And then as you exhale and draw the belly down toward your spine, hug that left knee deeper in toward your ribs. And then hold it there and feel what happens to your inhale. Depending on how close that left thigh comes in, you might not be able to feel the breath coming into the left side of your belly. Or you can feel it, but it just doesn't rise, perhaps. Or maybe you're aware of the right side breathing quite noticeably. So just check in and see what changes you experience with the breath, with the knee hugged into the chest. So we're massaging the descending colon here. It's really nice pose to do if you have digestive issues. And then we'll take that left leg, extend it up in the air, and clasp the hands behind the back of the leg. If your leg is tight and you're not able to reach behind the back of your leg, maybe just hold on to your pants. Or if you have something nearby that you can use, maybe a towel or a belt, you can put that behind your leg and hold on to both ends. And here we're going to point and flex the left foot, reaching up through the toes, then through the heel. And then hold the flex position. Inhale and press the leg into the hands and reach up through the foot. Exhale, draw your belly down and draw the leg toward you. I have a little bit of an injury in my hamstring, the muscle in the back of the leg, so I'm not going to be demonstrating that. Feel the breath filling up, belly, ribs, chest. And then on the exhale, sink the belly toward the spine. Actively use your abdominal muscles to pull your belly in, and that might help tilt the pelvis a little and bring the leg a little bit closer to your face. Keeping the foot really flexed. Good. And then bend the knee. Release the hands. Place the foot on the ground and let the knee open out to the side. Place your right hand on your right hip bone and your left hand on your left thigh. And as you inhale, imagine you're breathing into the space between your hands. When you exhale, if you feel like you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can press the flesh of your left leg toward your left knee. A little bit of pressure with that right hand helps ground that right side so you're not just rolling to the left as you open the left leg. And then release the hands. Lift your left knee up. Straighten the left leg out. And just breathe, belly, ribs, chest. Feel free to use hands to remind your body of where it wants to be breathing. I want to say too that the breathing is the hardest part. So if you're struggling with it, don't worry about it. It does get easier as you continue to practice, but it's very unfamiliar. Some of these shapes that we're doing may be new to you too, but they're not completely different than anything you've ever done before, perhaps. But the breathing is completely different. So just give it time. And then let's hug the right knee into the chest. Flex the left foot, pressing the heel out. And again, we use our breath not just to help open and relax the body, but to help still our mind so that it becomes like a meditation. Our minds like to wander everywhere, and that's what creates so much stress for us. So it's not just the breathing and just the stretching that helps yoga be so de-stressing. It's also this quieting of the mind. So feeling the breath in the body, paying attention to something other than our thoughts becomes really relaxing for the mind. And then we'll bring that right leg straight up in the air, clasping the hands behind the back of the leg if you can, taking a variation if not, and pointing and flexing the foot. Stay with the breath, maybe coordinate the movement with the breath. So we're breathing slowly and moving slowly. And then hold the flex position, the heel pressing up to the sky. Inhale and press the back of the leg into the hands or whatever might be there. And then exhale, draw the belly in and pull the leg toward you. Inhale deep and slow, filling your whole body. Exhale all the air out. And release the hands. Turn the foot to the ground and let the right knee fall out to the right side. Left hand on the left hip bone, right hand on the right inner thigh. Spreading the breath wide into the lowest part of your belly that you can. That opening may translate into more space in the hips, in the pelvis. If you want to actively foster more space, you can press your right hand toward your right knee, lengthening the muscles and the flesh there. Grounding with the left hand. Breathing deep, long, and slow. Okay, release the hands. Feel your breath. Bend your left knee and then roll onto your right side, placing the left knee on top of the right knee. And then with the left hand on the ground in front of you, push into the ground to press yourself up. Your head is the last thing to lift. And then come into a comfortable cross-legged position. I find it more comfortable to sit on something, a cushion, a folded towel, or blanket. Just by elevating the hips, it allows the knees to relax down a little bit more. Also, what happens when you elevate the hips, and I'm going to demonstrate this because we have some new folks. So this is without the hips lifted. You can see the lower part of my back is kind of flat, and this may not be true for your body, but in my body, that kind of makes me want to round my back. Sitting like this feels not so supportive to lifting my spine tall and sitting straight. Once I lift my sit bones, you see how now the lumbar curve kind of happens automatically? This natural curve in the spine. So if you've ever seen a skeleton, the spine doesn't look like this, it looks like this. So we want that natural curve in the lumbar spine, and then we can get the curve in the other direction, which means that the chest is open and lifted. And so by placing something under your sit bones, you automatically create an easier posture. Also, if your hips are tight, the higher you sit, the easier it is to sit. Okay, so we'll place the hands on the knees. We're going to start warming up the spine. Inhaling and exhaling long and slow. As you inhale, we're going to move across the front. And as you exhale, we're going to round across the back. Inhale, chest open, eyes up. Exhale, chin down, back rounding. Go at your own pace. So you round across the back part, tucking the chin. And then the next time you come to center, reverse directions. We're warming up not only the spine here, but the hips. Right? Maybe you're feeling that. Shoulders get into the action a little bit too. It's a good overall warm up. Okay. And then find your way back to neutral spine, sitting up tall. So I thought today we might do some eye yoga. We haven't done this in quite some time. And if you're home a lot and looking at the computer a lot, it creates a lot of eye strain. So we just want to keep the muscles of our eyes strong and fresh as well. So we keep the head still, and we just will open the eyes for this one. We just look up and look down. And do that 10 times on your own count without moving the head. Once you've done 10, close your eyes, rub the palms of your hands together and get them nice and hot. And then place your palms over your closed eyes and just rest your eyes into your palms. And release the hands down. Now we'll go side to side. Again, don't move your head. Just reach your eyes all the way to the left and then to the right, counting 10 times. Once you've done 10, close your eyes, rub your hands, get them hot. It's plenty of time so you can wait for your own 10 to be complete. And relax the hands. So just 2 more. We're going to go on the diagonals now. So we'll start and look up to 2 o'clock and then down to 8 o'clock. Same drill, count to 10 and then do the hands. And relax the hands down. Last one, 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And release the hands. Notice the cross of your legs. One of them is going to be in front or on top of the other. Just make a mental note and release the legs and shake them out. Circle the feet around the ankles. And reverse. Good. And then cross the other way. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, left hand down. Reaching over. Turn your gaze up. Push into your left hand. See if you can feel your right sit bone grounding down. And then come and pay attention to your breath. Have the intention to breathe belly, ribs, chest, noticing how it actually appears in your body as you stretch the right side. Do you feel the breath more in the right side than you do in the left side? Which area do you feel it in the most? Where is there a sense of stretching from the inside out as you inhale and expand? And where might you feel a sense of relaxing as you exhale? So part of our practice is to emphasize that opening and that relaxing. So really softening the body so that the breath can open it just from the inhale, and surrendering the body so that it can relax as you exhale. Good. Now we're going to fold over that left knee, reaching on the diagonal with the right hand. That right sit bone likes to pop up here, so we're going to press deeper into the left hand and push that right sit bone back. Slow, long, deliberate breaths. Where does that take place in the body? And pushing into the left hand, inhale the right arm up. Exhale it down to the ground beside you. And then inhale the left arm up. Exhale, reach over. Turn your gaze up. If that's hard on your neck, then you can turn your gaze down instead. We want it to be one of the two though, because it kind of strains your neck in this position if you keep it facing forward. One or the other, up or down, seems to be better. But, you know, I'm not in your body. Whatever feels best to you is ultimately the right position. So a little bit of pressure in that right hand to sink the left sit bone. Stretching out long through the fingers. Closing the eyes to connect more deeply with the interior of your posture. And then we'll fold over that right knee, reaching the left arm on the diagonal. And again, notice if your left sit bone is no longer really grounded into the earth, and push into the right hand, sending that hip back and the sit bone down. That's really important. You only get a stretch if both ends of the stretch are moving away from each other. So if you're reaching forward but lifting the opposite end along with it, then there's not a stretch. So the sit bone is one end and the hand is the other end, and they both lengthen away from each other. And the breath tries to fill the distance between the two. Beautiful. Push into the right hand to inhale the left arm up. And exhale it down. Just breath. And then release the legs again, shake them out. Sometimes the knees get a little tender from sitting cross-legged. You can rub the knees with your hands, bring some heat there, helps to soothe them. Good. I'm going to flip over onto hands and knees. You can cross at the ankles and maybe flip over your ankles, or get there any way that you want. So we're lining the knees up right under the hips and the hands right under the shoulders. So that may be a little bit closer than you think. Maybe closing the eyes and really feeling the weight of the arm bones sinking straight down into the ground. And same with the leg bones. And then feel your breath, inhaling belly, ribs, chest. And then on an exhale, curl the tailbone down, lift the belly up, lift the back ribs, drop the chin to the chest, rounding your back, what we call cat pose. And then inhale, reverse. Curl the tailbone up. Let the belly drop down. Breathe into the belly. Breathe all the way up into the chest and roll your eyes up to the sky. Cow pose. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Going at your own pace, but letting the length of your breath determine how long it takes. Perhaps you can move your spine in this position rather quickly, but you want to take all the time that it takes to breathe all the way in and all the way out. Last one. And then come to neutral spine, table pose, flat back. And here it's really important that the arms and legs really sink into the ground. If your hands hurt, then you can do like I'm doing and come onto fists instead. We're going to curl the toes of the left foot under as we extend the left foot back. We're going to reach the right arm out so that the arm is alongside the ear. And then if you can, lift your left leg to the height of your buttock. Keep your gaze down. If you need to see me, take a peek, but then take your eyes to the floor so that your neck is straight and long like the rest of the spine. Lift your belly up to support your back and reach out of your heel and out of your fingertips. Good. Now, bend your back leg and reach your right hand for your left foot. If you don't reach and you have a pant leg you can grab onto, that's fine. If you still don't reach, that's fine. Just reach the arm back and keep the leg bent. And look up. And then if you're holding your foot, kick the foot up and back. And then breathe as deeply as you can. Notice the challenge to breathe into the chest. Okay, release the foot. We're going to slide that knee all the way forward so that it comes to the inside of the left hand. And then the foot is going to move over so that it's in front of the right hip. Now, those of you who are more flexible may be able to move the foot more forward. Don't feel like you need to do that. We're going to come up onto the fingertips. So this is pigeon pose. So you want your fingertips to be like pigeon claws, pressing down into the fingers. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, press into the top of your back foot. Good. And then sleeping pigeon, folding forward. Let your head relax down, and it's nice to rest your head on something. So see if stacking your fists allows your head to rest. If your head comes lower naturally, maybe stack one fist, or maybe just stack the palms of the hands, or just let it rest on the ground if that's your practice. Try to release any gripping in that left leg. Relax your belly. Breathe deeply. Stay connected to your yogic 3-part breath. If this is a really challenging posture for you, the more you focus on your breath, the less you're focusing on the difficulty. Good. Press yourself up. You're going to pull that right knee right up to the left foot. so that you're in a pinwheel position with your legs. Left hand is on the ground beside you. Push into that left hand. If you can, lift your buttocks off the ground. If you cannot, don't worry about it. Just bring your other hand behind you. We're all going to come into our own version of this backward bend. So version 1 is to lift the hips and lift the arm up and drop the head back. Version 2 is to take that right hand and find your right heel. And that might open the chest even more. And version 3 is just to keep the buttocks on the ground and continue to lift the chest. Open the breath. And release the buttocks down if you had it lifted. Swing that right foot around, cross it over your left leg. So sometimes sitting in this position is only possible if that right buttock comes off the ground. We don't want to start our pose with an uneven foundation. So if you need to, please straighten your left leg to allow that right sit bone to come back down. And then let's hug the knee toward the left shoulder. And as you pull in with the knee, lift up through the crown of the head. Feel the spine lengthen. Great. Keep holding onto the leg with your left hand. Inhale the right arm up and really lift tall. Exhale, turn your belly to the right. Bring your hand to the ground behind you, close enough to your buttocks so that you're not leaning back, but rather it's helping you lengthen up straight. If your left leg is straight, flex that foot. Good. Now you can keep your left hand just as it is. That's fine. If you want, you can bring the elbow to the outside of your leg. That will take the twist a little bit deeper. And then if you're doing that variation, the index finger and the thumb come together. Gyan Mudra, we call that. Mudra just means gesture. And then if you can, place that at the center of your chest. We're all looking over the right shoulder. And then inhale and lift tall through the crown of the head. Lengthen the spine. Imagine you're making space between the vertebrae. And then exhale as you relax. Turn. Inhale long. Exhale, relax and turn. Beautiful. On an inhale, come back to center. Good. Bend that left leg if you had it straight. And then release the right leg. Come back to hands and knees. Everything we do on one side, we do on the other side. So start in your table position. Strong arms, strong legs. The right leg comes back. You can start with the toes curled under on the floor and the left arm forward. And if you feel like you can, lift the right leg to the height of the buttocks. We're not looking to go higher here. We're looking to be straight. So the neck is also straight, which means the gaze is down. Support the spine by pulling your abdominal muscles up toward your back. Support your balance and your peaceful mind by focusing on your breath. And then we'll bend that back leg. Reach the left hand back. If you can grab the foot or the pant leg, do so. If not, just reach. If you're holding on, kick up. Kicking the foot up and back. into the hand. Take your gaze up. Open your shoulder and your chest and see if you can breathe into that opening to help create even more space there. If you're struggling with the balance, press more into your left foot. Good. Release the hand and slide that right knee all the way up to the inside of your right hand. The foot lines up roughly with the left hip. And then again, if you're more flexible or you want to deepen the pose, you just bring your foot more forward. Come on to the fingertips. Push into the fingertips. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, look up, inhale. Try to stay long in the spine as you exhale forward. Resting the head, fists, palms, or ground. So notice if there's any resistance in your body. Like if I'm not aware of it, if I just come into it and kind of tune out, I automatically feel some gripping in the hip because, face it, this is a pretty intense hip opener and my body wants to resist that. So see if you can first feel for the resistance. That's the hardest part because resistance is often habitual and we don't even notice it because it becomes our norm. But if we can feel the resistance, then we can practice trying to let go of the resistance, to soften into those parts and let energy circulate there more. Let whatever we're protecting and guarding release. Sometimes that's a really challenging thing to do because the only way we can release it is if we feel it. But better to release it than hold on to it. And press yourself up. Bring the left knee up to the right foot. And not every side is the same, so you can see what version you want to do on this side. The right hand is your support, kind of backing off to the right, pushing into that to lift the hips. Left arm comes up and back, or left hand finds your left heel. That's a little bit more of an open posture. Or you can do the same thing with your sit bones on the ground. And release down if you had your hips elevated. And then swing your left leg around. You want the foot to be able to come onto the floor. So not like this, but all 5 toes touching down. And then pull that left knee toward the right shoulder. And then that'll help you lift up taller through the spine. And then inhale, reach the left arm up. Feel the ribs getting even higher. And then keep the height as you turn to the left. Hand coming behind you. Pressing into that back hand to get even higher. The more space you make between the ribs, the easier it is to turn. Looking over your left shoulder. And again, your hand can stay like this, or you can cross your elbow over. Take Gyan Mudra, index finger to thumb. And try your best to place that on your chest. Feel each inhale, even though the body is constricted quite a bit here in this twist, you can feel the breath coming up the central channel of your body, which is still just straight and unimpeded. You might even visualize the breath coming up your spine from your tailbone to the top of your head. And then as we exhale, we squeeze all the toxins out of the spine. We squeeze all the impurities out of the internal organs. The breath is what washes it for us. If we're turning and squeezing but we're not breathing, then we're not picking up the toxins and we're not releasing the toxins. We're just squeezing them inside of us. Use an inhale to come back to center. Bend your right leg if you had it straight. Flip your other leg back. Come back to hands and knees. And this time we'll take the hands slightly in front of the shoulders, shoulder width apart, fingers spread. Curl the toes under. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lift the knees. Push into the hands, sending the sit bones back. Lengthening the spine from the hands to the sit bones, and then lengthening the legs by straightening the knees, pushing the heels down. Pull the shoulders down the back. Press into the index fingers and thumbs and see if you can press your sit bones back even more. Imagine that you're trying to line your sit bones over your heels. Sink your heart, relax your head. And then walk your feet forward to your hands. Tuck your chin, roll yourself up. Inhale, come up to standing. I'm on my knees so that I can still be in the posture, still be in the screen. Sorry, but you're up here. Good. Breathe, belly, ribs, chest. And then exhale and fold forward. Press the feet into the ground, pull the sit bones toward the sky. Feel the slow, deep breath. On your exhale, scoop the belly into your back. And then bend the knees. Lower yourself to the ground. Coming all the way onto your back. Start with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And then lift your tailbone like an inch off the floor, tuck it under, and come right back down. Then straighten your legs. Shake the legs out, in and out, in and out. And if you happen to have an eye pillow and you want to place that on your eyes, please do. And then just let the arms rest out to the side with the palms facing up. Take a breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, sinking into the ground. Feel your body heavy. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing your jaw so that your top teeth and your bottom teeth do not touch, and there's a slight space in your lips. One more deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of your thoughts. Letting go of yesterday, letting go of tomorrow, letting go of to-dos, regrets. Just being right here, focusing on the breath. And now we let go of the breath so that the three-part breath can relax, and instead we just breathe the natural, effortless breath, however breath wants to come, letting the mind feel the breath, focus on the breath, relax in the breath, almost like your body resting in the gentle sway of a hammock. Your mind rests in the flow of in and out breath. When you notice the mind wandering, no big deal. Like if you fall off the hammock, you just get back in. Finding yourself even more relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Breathe into your heart. Move the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. Stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest and rock side to side, feeling the ground massaging your back. Open the knees wide so that the soles of the feet are touching. Bring the palms together. Rub hand to hand and foot to foot. Just waking up the energy in the body again. And then roll over onto either side, resting your head on your underside arm. Resting your body on the ground. Feeling yourself held and supported and cradled. Noticing how you feel. Taking in the gifts of your practice. Maybe appreciating yourself for giving yourself that gift. And then pressing that front hand into the ground, lifting up slowly. The head comes up last. Coming into any comfortable seated position. Doesn't need to be cross legs. Sinking down through the sit bones, lifting tall through the head. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, the palms together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today.